front of the display, the famous Vulcan howl. You can tell your grandchildren you've heard it. I hope we'll hear it again during the display. I'm really not quite sure what causes that. I don't think anybody is, but it's something to do with the aerodynamics of the engine intakes. Doesn't always happen. It depends on the weather and the humidity and all sorts of other things. But the unique sound there of 4 Rolls-Royce Bristol Olympus 202 engines, each producing roughly 16,500 pounds of static thrust, 65,000 pounds in total. Had lots of operational equipment removed. Also, she doesn't have 2 stout navigators down the back, which always helps reduce the weight. She has just 3 crew. The captain and flying today is spirited wing over there from Bill Ramsey. So this aircraft was first of all thought of, the Vulcan, immediately after the war. The wonderful Roy Chadwick, who designed the Lancaster, drew on a scruffy piece of paper which still exists, a shape which is recognizable as Vulcan in 1946. Now that was only 5 years after the Lancaster first flew, which is quite extraordinary because when you look at this aircraft and you compare it to the Lancaster, they might have come from different centuries. She first flew in 1952, so that was only 11 years after the Lancaster first flew. So last year we were celebrating the Diamond Jubilee of the first flight of Vulcan, along with, of course, Her Majesty's Diamond Jubilee, and every time she flew last year we had permission to say that it was in celebration of Her Majesty's Diamond Jubilee. Engines producing quite a lot of unburnt fuel out of the back as she comes back towards us. And if you look at the underside of the aircraft, I think you'll see the bomb bay doors opening shortly. There they go now. That's the bomb bay that carried 21 1,000-pound bombs all the way to the Falkland Islands and dropped them on Port Stanley runway, hitting them with 2 of them. That was about par for the course for a non-directed, non-smart bomb at the time, so it did the job that was required of it. What does the Bombay have in it now? Well, it has the names of lots of people who've sponsored their name to be in the Bombay. So if you would like to have your name flying in this magnificent aeroplane, you should go down to the Vulcan village at the far right-hand end, which is where Vulcan will be parked again when she lands back at the end of her display. So go down and see them down there. You can sponsor, have your name in the Bombay as she comes back. This time I expect to see the Bombay closing. She's got very good binoculars, you might be able to read the odd name in there. Bombay closing now. Open and closed by Bill Davis. Based there between 1960 and 1968, but it's now snappily known as Robin Hood Airport, Doncaster, Sheffield. She lives in a sumptuous hangar there, and she takes visitors. You can go and see her when she's not flying. They'd be very happy to welcome you up at Robin Hood Airport, Doncaster, Sheffield. I think it's easier to call it fittingly. See, we've got the wheel later today. I should say somebody who's not on board today is Kevin Taff Stone, the crew chief and the chief engineer. He always says 558XH 558, this aeroplane is my baby. And I was questioned the other day as to why I always refer to her as she. Well, Taff put it quite nicely, said she's definitely female. She is very high maintenance. She requires a lot of looking after. As she goes away, you get an idea of how slim she is in cross-section.